Today we are going to learn about conditional logic in Python. A program does not always follow the same steps. Sometimes it needs to make a decision. Conditional logic lets a program choose which path to take. That choice depends on whether a condition is true or false. The if statement is the foundation of conditional logic in Python. It checks a condition. If that condition is true, Python runs the indented block beneath it. If the condition is false, Python skips that block entirely. The condition must produce a true or false result. Every condition in Python produces one of two values. True means the condition was met. False means it was not. These are called Boolean values. Python uses them to make every decision in a conditional statement. Comparison operators let you compare two values inside a condition. Each one returns either true or false. Python has 6 of them. They cover equality, ordering, and inequality. The table shows each operator, what it means, and an example. Now, we will write our first if block in Python. The first step is to define a variable. This variable will hold the value that our condition checks. We are storing the number 10 in a variable called score. The next line is the if statement itself. The condition checks whether score is greater than 5. Notice the colon at the end. That colon is required. It tells Python that the block of code is about to begin. The final line is the body of the if block. It is indented with 4 spaces. This indentation tells Python that this line belongs to the if statement. When the condition is true, Python prints the message score is high. Indentation is not optional in Python. Every line inside an if block must be indented by the same number of spaces. 4 spaces is the standard. If you forget the indentation, Python will raise an error and the program will not run. The else clause runs when the if condition is false. It gives your program a second path. If the condition is true, Python runs the if block. If it is false, Python runs the else block instead. Only one of the 2 blocks ever runs. Adding else starts with the code we already have. The variable score holds the value 10. The if statement checks whether score is greater than 5. The else clause will come directly after this block. Now we add the else keyword. It goes at the same indentation level as the if statement. Notice it also ends with a colon. The else keyword never takes a condition. It simply means everything that did not match. The else block gets its own indented line. This is the code that runs when the condition is false. Python will print score is low, only when score is not greater than 5. Now the complete if and else block is ready. When score is 10, the condition is true and Python prints score is high. Now, we will look at else if. Sometimes 2 paths are not enough. You may need to check several different conditions in sequence. The else if keyword lets you add more branches between the if and the else. The else if keyword goes between the if block and the else block. Python checks each else if condition in order. The first one that is true runs. The rest are skipped. Let's build a grade checker. We start with a variable called score equal to 72. This is the value all the conditions will check against. The if statement checks the first condition. It asks whether score is greater than or equal to 90. Score is 72, so this condition is false. Python moves to the next condition. The else if keyword adds a second condition. It checks whether score is greater than or equal to 70. Score is 72, so this condition is true. Python will run this block and skip everything else. The else if block gets its indented body. Python will print grade B when this condition is true. The else block closes the sequence. It has no condition. It runs only when every condition above it was false. Here it prints grade C for any score below 70. The complete if, else if, and else block is now ready. Score is 72. The else if condition passes. Python prints grade B and stops checking. Python always checks conditions from top to bottom. It stops the moment it finds one that is true. Even if a later condition would also be true, Python never reaches it. Order matters. You can chain as many else if blocks as you need. Each one adds another condition to check. Python checks them one by one in the order you write them. Only the first true one runs. Let's build a day classifier. We start with a variable called day equal to the string Wednesday. The first condition checks whether day equals Monday. Here day is Wednesday, so this is false. Python moves to the next else if. The second else if checks whether day equals Wednesday. This time the condition is true. Python will run this block and stop checking. The remaining else if and else blocks will be skipped. The third else if checks whether day equals Friday. Python never reaches this line because the previous condition was already true. The else block closes the day classifier. It catches any day that did not match the previous conditions. Here it prints other day for any value that was not Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. The complete day classifier is ready. Here day is Wednesday. The if condition fails. The else if condition for Wednesday passes. Python prints midweek and exits the structure immediately. A nested if statement is an if block placed inside another if block. The inner block only runs if both conditions are true. The outer condition is checked first. The inner condition is only checked if the outer one passed. This nested example checks two things. First, it checks whether score is greater than 50. If that is true, then it checks whether score is greater than 80. Here, score is 85. The outer condition is true, so Python enters that block. The inner condition is also true, so Python prints high score. The outer else block is never reached. These are the key points from this lesson. The if statement checks a condition. The else block handles the false case. The else if keyword adds extra conditions between them. Python checks each condition in order and runs only the first true block. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you found this lesson helpful and easy to understand. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more beginner-friendly programming tutorials and helpful tips. Feel free to comment your questions or thoughts below. I love hearing from you and I try to respond to every comment. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever I upload new videos. See you in the next lesson.